All right, thank you for joining to the Node.js Build work group. Okay, so first item we have is updating the infrastructure provider. What is that about? The list of infrastructure providers is outdated. It would be great if someone with the current information on all providers could update it so we can have a single source of truth.
Yeah, I think Ryan assigned this to himself. On the README of the build repo, there's a list of providers with some logos. It's outdated, so yeah, could do with updating. The logos is well, both the list and the logos are outdated, and yeah, given that we're trying to consolidate the relationships between the providers with the foundation, I think Ryan's taken that on as something to do. With many other things he's doing.
Thank you. Brian, I guess he's away right now, so
yeah. I think separately there was a web page update or a PR to update the web page to also put sponsors and things, including infrastructure sponsors. So there's been a sort of effort to, I guess, clarify and update the list of companies that were involved with sponsoring bits of Node.
Okay. Great. So then I guess that's about that. And I guess we'll get more updates next time when Ryan is available. Upgrading the compiler tool chain. I guess this is something, Richard, you're busy with right now.
Kind of. Yeah, there's probably a lot to say with that. So between myself and Michael Zasso, we've been upgrading machines in the build infrastructure. Most of the Linuxes, apart from Ubuntu, is that right? Are now have CLang installed. I think it's CLang 19 on all of them, but it's at least CLang 19 or higher. I am currently looking at the V8 CI. So we did run into issues building the main branch of building V8 from the V8 code in the node source tree from the main branch on Power and S390X with CLang because we needed some patches to V8's build dependency. And when I tried to roll that forward on main, we had other stuff failing to build. So Michael's got a PR for updating Node to V8 14.1, which has a new enough dependency. But I'm currently running into other strange build issues with trying to find standard C++ headers. And I believe I now know why that's going wrong, which is that the V8 build is passing a target flag, target triple into the compile and link command lines. And on rel, that is not loading the default config for CLang. So it's falling back to the wrong GCC header files. So I've got various ways of potentially getting around that. I know that the upstream work that's being done on Power and S390 on V8 is using V8's custom libc. Is it CXX or C++? I don't know what the correct terminology is. Yeah.
Yeah. CXX.
So that might be something we need to follow, in that there were some implications that there is currently a build flag for GN to turn on or off the custom libcxx, but it sounded like they were hoping to get rid of it at some point and sort of force everyone to be using the custom libc library. No, sorry, libcxx library. So I don't know if we have to do that right now, but definitely need to do it presumably at some point if upstream V8 actually just removes that option completely. So at the moment we've been building without it. and Node currently builds without it. So one of the things I was looking at for the V8 CI was, yeah, Node was building fine, but the V8 CI was failing. And it's to do with this target flag. We're not passing the target flag in the Node build. So the Node build is picking up the right things for CLang, but the V8 build is passing the target, which is where we fall over because I think we updated the build depths to pass like S390 or PPC 64LE dash unknown dash Linux, but on RHEL they actually put the vendor into that unknown, to replace the unknown string, so which is why it doesn't match the right thing. So yeah, that's a thing which I can probably fix in the next couple of days, or hopefully have something that works in the next couple of days. But we probably need to have another discussion. I don't know whether for 14.1 or a later V8 about whether we need to pick up the sources for the custom libc and be building with that in Node. So I don't want to build V8 with it and then don't build Node without it, because we kind of want as much as possible to mirror the configs between the two. But I think for now, if I can get the V8 CI building with what we've currently got in the V8 14.1 PR, that will then at least get us into a good state, and then we can have a discussion about the custom libc separately, because it won't be just RHEL, it'll be all the other platforms. So that was the RHEL stuff. There was a comment in the issue, which a couple of up, I think, where there was some like status of platforms. So we know, for example, that IBMI is not going to have CLang available anytime soon. And then AX, I've been talking to Abdurim, so unfortunately Abdurim's caught up in another meeting and is going to be late to this one. CLang is available on AX, and we were looking last night at trying to get CLang onto the machines, but he's also trying to fix some V8 build issues with CLang. So it's quite possible that we're not actually going to be in a position to be able to build V8 with CLang on AX in the next couple of weeks. Because if we're aiming for Node 25, that's basically.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. I don't think we plan to discontinue GCC for Node 25.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, just as an update on AX, yeah, progress has been made, but we can probably get CLang on the machines, but I don't think we'll be able to be in a position to swap over at that point. As an FYI, well, I don't could mention this. The Power and S390, well, Malad and Co, the ones that are maintaining V8 on Power and S390 are no longer building with GCC in upstream V8. So, there's now a potential gap, but we are aiming to get the RHEL, sorry, not RHEL, the Linux. we're aiming to get the Linux builds built in Node building with CLang. So we don't anticipate there being a risk there. But yeah, other platforms like AX and SmartOS, I think in the issue it was mentioned that the IBM team that was patching the GCC code to work on Linux are no longer they'll no longer be doing that because they're no longer testing on it. So anyone using GCC to build, they're going to have to look out for the GCC breaks themselves and patch them up accordingly in upstream.
For now, it seems fine because the PR for latest V8 passed on GCC 12.
Yeah.
Next one, yeah. So the one you guys have right now is probably at the very end of our, GCC maintenance window. I think the next update that you have will fall in potentially, somebody, if AIX continues to maintain their code to build with GCC, then everyone's going to be fine. But if they fall behind, then somebody else has to pick this up, or it will just be broken for GCC. So,
I mean, I think we are going to try, for Node, we're going to try and aim to build things with CLang by Node 26. So hopefully, if we can get this one out, if that's GCC on some platforms, so be it. But hopefully by Node 26 and whatever V8 version we end up pulling into that one, hopefully we'll be in a position where we can use CLang on the platforms that are the tier 1 and tier 2 platforms that would block releases.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of work going on to get this done, and like you mentioned, Richard, right now you guys build with the libatomic that comes with GCC, as specifically toolset 14 for rel. But down the road, it would be because right now we built with custom lib C++ or libcxx for our internal V8 builds, but you guys built with libatomic from GCC. So I don't expect there's going to be a huge problem because, as long as both are bug free and they do, simple compare and swaps, then we should be fine. But if there's bug in one but not the other one, then we could hit undefined failures, undefined behaviors, and random failures. But yeah, the goal would be to hopefully down the road just move to libc++. But I know that's a lot of work on the Node side because you guys don't use GN. So, yeah. Anything else on this issue? Nope. All right. Next one would be adding macOS 15 CI images with Xcode.
So I think this is on Ryan.
Let's see.
Which is unfortunately not here.
Yeah, and we don't. He didn't give any news recently about it.
Okay, I guess we can just wait until next time. But we want to keep it on the agenda list, right? Build agenda.
Yeah, but hopefully
Yes.
we need it fixed. We need it fixed by the next meeting, I guess.
Okay. So I guess I'm just gonna get rid of this because we're waiting for him to come.
I hope that we won't run into V8 build issues when we can finally test with it.
Are we? Is the GitHub runner running with an upgraded Xcode?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the same version of macOS, but it's Xcode 16.4. Yes.
So we at least have had a node build with the V8 update PR on the GitHub runner. I'm hoping that I can't remember.
Guess
I think in
had
theory
one, yes.
we should have had it. Yeah. Okay.
Let me check.
I mean, like you said, it might not be the exact match,
Test
but at least it will give us
macOS.
some sort of confidence or indication. I mean, if it's broken
So yeah,
there,
on the GitHub runner, it was Xcode 16.4, on macOS 15.5.
okay.
On ARM64.
Yeah. But it
So
passed.
yes,
So
it should be okay.
Yeah. Oh, let's
Okay.
hope we can yeah, hope that we can get that done. Try and get Ryan to try and get an update from Ryan, and if not, probably ask yeah, ask Ben if
Ryan
he knows that look at it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it as that until next time he's back to get more updates.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. Then the last one would be enabling Rust. I think everyone's busy with Clang right now. Nothing's going on with Rust. Any updates on this?
No updates, and
Yeah.
I did some things with it, but I probably am not the right person to finish this work. Because it's a lot of local hacks to make it work, and yeah, I don't know what to do to have something that can land on Node.
Yeah, we're in the same boat with the with Power and S390. The whole getting an appropriate tool chain and then getting the whole thing building with the tool chain that isn't Google's whatever they're rolling forwards in there. repositories.
Yeah,
Because
you're saying toolchain. That's the first thing to solve. What do we install on all the machines?
yeah, and we know
Yeah.
that not directly for Node, but we talk to the people that maintain downstream Node built in like Fedora, and there's no way that they whatever they use to build Node in Fedora needs to be something they've packaged up, and is installable from their own package repositories, and telling them, oh, download Rust from this website, whatever version, or even if it was from Google, it's like, no, you can't do that because that's rolling. There's a whole supply chain concerned about, like, yeah. So even CLang, I think, V8 was saying, like, yeah, we only support like the whatever version of CLang is in. Is it Depot Tools now, or is it Goma or
Yeah,
C
and basically
whatever?
they support the main branch of CLang with a few days of
So,
lag.
but
Third
at least,
party.
yeah, at least between us, it looks like CLang 19 works for now. So we'll aim for that, because at least that's acceptable to. At least I keep mentioning Fedora because they're the people I speak most to, but I'm sure other Linux distros like Debian and SUSE, that I know build Node, they'll have the same concerns that they they want to be able to build things with the things they know about and not necessarily target some rolling thing unless they were a rolling distro themselves. So
Yeah, but if you take Fedora, for example, is there a Rust compiler that you can install easily,
yes,
even if it's not the same version that V8 uses?
there is.
Okay.
I think one of us looked at it. I can't remember if that was you, Milad, that we at one point we looked at it and then there was a difference in like versions, but I can't remember how far apart it was. Um,
You
but
mean Rust?
yeah, or was it a completely different tool or was it a different tool completely?
For Rust on PPCS 390, I looked at both the one that's provided upstream by Rust itself, and the one that's
But
provided by RHEL.
okay,
Um, and the problem we have with both is that we need to use nightly builds. With RHEL, obviously, we can't use nightly build because it's a static compiler. It's a certain version, and that's all it is. So what we need to do is the main problem is that now we probably, again, I haven't looked into this in detail yet, but
yeah,
we
no, we haven't
probably
looked
need
at
to,
it.
yeah, we probably need to go essentially change the code and get rid of all the nightly features because according to the maintainer upstream, he said that none of them should be required for temporal. So if they're there, they're just there for other reasons. We shouldn't need them. So we'll have to go in and say, hey, if it's PPCS 390 or any other platform that doesn't support this, then don't add it. We don't want it. And then continue building with the versions of Rust that we have on whatever the operating system is. So that's mainly what we need to do. Haven't done it yet. We just
Well,
know
I
it
think
doesn't work.
we need to do that for everyone, not only
Yeah, sorry, fine, yeah.
S390. I mean,
Globally,
most
x86,
most
ARM.
node contributors don't want to install the
Yeah.
Rust from source, or I don't know, or the nightly build.
It overcomplicates the build system if you need to be pulling build tools from somewhere other than where you would have pulled them by default. So
Yeah.
if you are on a Linux distro, whatever Linux distro that is, you have probably installed, compilers from the default package repositories, or I guess is it like testing or something on like Debian Ubuntu where you can pull later compilers. But you normally wouldn't be building the compilers yourself or going to like llvm.org to pull CLang or wherever you go to pull the Rust compiler. Um, that some people might be okay with that, but others will be like, well, this is outside of my trusted path of where I get my things from, and it's not specific to, like I say, it's not specific to the platforms that Red Hat IBM look after. It's pretty much all the platforms that Node supports. And Node, it's obviously going to get more complicated when we introduce Rust into the whole thing. So you'll need a second compiler. But in general, it's fairly the build requirements they're listed, and as long as you satisfy those, building Node it doesn't have a long list of things you need to install separately in order to build. So obviously you need the compile tool chains, but there's not much else in the realms of things you need to pull down on your machine to build Node, because most of it's self-contained into the source repository. So yeah, I think there is work to be done on Rust. I don't think it's it's not super urgent compared to the Clang stuff, and I believe there's still the option to build without temporal in V8 for now, which if it got to the point where they turned temporal on by default, we'd probably just turn it off in Node until we were ready to build. I mean, obviously, presumably that won't last forever, but I think it is something we need to look at, but I don't think it's super urgent right now. But yeah, once we get the Clang stuff done, we can probably find at least people to look at that.
Yeah, and I mean, all the other platforms probably will have more fun dealing with this. Non-Linux platforms. So is it AIX, IBM, SmartOS, all of
Yes.
they'll probably have different issues they need to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if all those platforms have Rust ported to them. That'll be an interesting thing for them to find out.
Yeah. Okay. And that is that. Let's go down. I guess that's all I had on my list. Is there anything else we want to talk about that's not here?
I guess I'll mention for anyone watching the recording, the the Apple account has now moved. So the foundation updated the owner of the Apple account, and that actually broke. Was it notarization, Michael, that broke?
Yes.
No, but I think Ryan's fixed that now.
Yes, I fixed it because I was able to make the release yesterday.
But yeah, the main bit with that is that the owner of the Apple account has now changed. I don't know if that has any other implications about who can log into it, but I've never been able to log into it anyway. So it doesn't affect me personally, but if anyone else ever wants to look at the Apple account that Build owns, there may be other things that we weren't expecting to break, may have broken, but hopefully not. But yeah, just for awareness that change has happened.
That's for sure. Great. Anything else? Topics? Comments? All right. If there's nothing, then thank you for joining, and I'm going to end the meeting now.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.